Now, Oregon officially has the death penalty. But after a ruling this morning, we may not have anyone actually on death row for much longer. The Oregon Supreme Court decided to vacate the sentence. That means it's no longer being imposed for this man, David Bartol, was sentenced to death back in 2016. He was in jail for other crimes when he killed another inmate back in 2013. I mean, it was serious stuff. The murder was pretty gruesome. He used a homemade knife and stabbed the man in the eye. But it wasn't bad enough to meet the death penalty standard under the law Oregon passed in 2019. Now that law, State Bill 1013, narrows the definition of aggravated murder. That's the conviction that you must have to be eligible for the death penalty in Oregon. Now, under the new law, to be convicted of aggravated murder, you have to have killed someone younger than 14, or a law enforcement officer, or committed an act of terrorism that killed more than 2 people. Prison killings also fall under that umbrella, but only if they're done by someone who is already convicted of murder. So, when the law passed, everyone who had been convicted of aggravated murder got their conviction reclassified as first-degree murder. And the Supreme Court ruled this morning that one of those people, David Bartol, can't be eligible for the death penalty anymore. They ruled that it's cruel and unusual punishment. We talked to Jeff Ellis, an attorney with the Oregon Capital Resource Center, about this.
His crime of conviction has been reclassified by the legislature as murder in the first degree, and the court found that it was unconstitutional and cruel to execute someone for a crime that is no longer eligible for execution.
Now, the court's ruling only applies to David Bartol right now, but the implications are that anyone who has had their crime reclassified as first-degree murder would be able to get off of death row and be resentenced.
So it is my expectation that every death sentence in Oregon will be overturned as a result of this morning's ruling. The court simply said it doesn't matter when you commit your crime, when, more importantly, when you're sentenced for that crime. If you're on the list that's now been downgraded to first-degree murder, then you cannot be subject to the death penalty, even if your crime predates that change.